Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm very busy, a little tired.
Oh,
What about you?
I'm not feeling well today. Actually, I had sent you a message, but you haven't
Oh,
seen it.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. You're actually
It's
my first
okay.
lesson today, so I hadn't checked. I just logged on.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
you, if you
Actually,
want, you can reschedule for today. It's no
no,
problem.
no, no, no. Now I'm ready. Actually, I wasn't feeling like get out of bed. Now I'm ready.
Okay, are you sure?
Yes, yes. It's okay.
Hopefully, after our lesson, you can get back to bed and get some rest.
Yes, yes.
But I apologize. I just logged on, so
No,
I
no,
didn't
no.
see
It's
your
okay.
message.
It's okay. At least because of that, I get out of bed and I got fresh.
Okay. I think I had told you I started a new job. So this morning I actually woke up at 5:30 because I
Oh,
needed to get some work done with my other job. So I was doing all of that before our lesson. Now it's 8 in the morning for me. So um, I was completely logged off of my tutor account, not paying attention to anything until right at 8 o'clock I logged on and you were calling me. So my brain is in a thousand different places.
yes.
I have a question. I think last class you told me you had wanted to work on modal verbs. Uh,
Yes.
so I prepared something, but I'm not sure if it's what you wanted. I
Okay,
actually have
okay.
two separate
Uh-huh.
things prepared. So I had a lesson for will and would, and then I had
Okay.
another lesson for can and could. But I wasn't sure if that was exactly what you were looking for the can and
Yes,
could, and
yes.
then will and would, because I also wrote down should, but I didn't prepare anything for the modal verb should.
Okay. First, I'll tell you what I know about should because I have few confusions with it.
Okay, sounds good.
Could we can use with present, past, and future. Am I right?
Yes. Mhm.
For request, for possibility, for past ability, then past ability request, then for future, then for two, three different things. Uh, I think I forgot.
For could, I think you covered all of them.
I think four or five things were there.
So
Mm.
possibility and impossibility.
Uncertain means if suppose things are not certain,
Uh-huh.
that time also means it could rain. Means it's not certain. It may rain or it may not rain.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Then when I was younger, I could run 10 kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
I could.
Yeah.
And for future, uh, he could come tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
He could come tomorrow. He could come today. He could come yesterday.
Exactly.
Is it right?
Uh-huh. That's right.
Just he could come today. He could come yesterday. He could come tomorrow.
Yes.
We can use in all three sense.
You can. He could come yesterday. It's grammatically correct, but sometimes we don't use it in this way. A native speaker would say something more like, he was able to come yesterday instead of he could come yesterday. But sometimes you'll still hear people use it in this way. Yeah, he could come yesterday. Or yeah, he was able to come yesterday. Or just he came yesterday. But the way you said it, it's still correct, technically. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then second could be. Could be means he could be at home. Then he could be sent to school.
Mm-hmm.
It's a passive. He could be sent to school. Third form of the verb.
He could be sent to school. Yes, but in this
Passive.
case, he could be sent. This would be talking about the future, a future possibility. He could be sent to school or he could be sent home, but we're talking about a future possibility in this case. If we want to do past,
It's
mhm,
passive construction. He could be sent.
he could have been sent. He could
Okay.
be sent.
Two different. He could have been sent also, and he could be sent also.
He could
For
be,
same sense, there is no difference.
he could be sent.
Is it like that?
He could be sent home. So this isn't past. He could be sent home. This is when we're talking about a future possibility. I'm actually not 100% sure why. I need to look at the structure of the sentence.
I'm having confusion. That's why I'm asking.
Uh-huh.
And one more. He could be at home, or today he could be at home, or when we will go in the evening, he could be at home.
Could be. So could is the modal verb, but you're just adding on the verb be.
Be.
And be is in the present tense. So you just have to change it how you want. So for example, if you want to express past, you have to make it past perfect though. So can you repeat the example you just gave one more time? I'm going to type it.
He could be at home. If we go to his house, he could be at his home.
He could be at home, right? So that's talking about the present. We're using in the present a possibility.
And if suppose it's morning and I'm talking about evening, if we go to his house in the evening, he could be at home. Also, is it possible?
Also to talk about in the future, yeah. So let's say at 6 o'clock, we're going to his house and we're not sure if he's home. Oh, at 6 o'clock, he could be at home. It's still the same. You use it for the future as well. You don't change it. The only time you change it, I think, is when we're talking about the past. So let's say we invited our friend to dinner, but we never heard from him. He didn't call us or anything. We could say, oh, he could have been sick.
Okay.
Or he could have been. Could make it into.
My next could have means regret past. I could have go to the park, but I didn't.
Yes.
I could have helped him, but I didn't.
Yes, this you have to use the perfect tense.
Is it for regret?
For regret,
past, could have.
This is a conditional sentence. So thinking about regret. So yeah, I could have traveled to another country last year, but the pandemic happened, right? So we're kind of expressing regret. Like we wish we would have been able to have the opportunity, but something happened and we didn't get to. Exactly.
And another meaning of could have means possession. I could have a laptop, but I didn't bargain properly. Or I could have that watch, but I hadn't enough money.
So in this case, we have to match the tense. So I could have a new watch is in present tense. So you say, I could have a new watch, but I don't have the money. If you want to make it in past tense, I could have had a new watch, but I didn't have the money. I'll type it too.
I didn't had money. Could have had. If we talk with could have had, then in next clause we will have to use couldn't had, right?
Couldn't,
because both the clause will be in past tense.
If it's in negative, repeat that one more time.
I could have had watch, but I hadn't money. I had no money.
That's right.
And and same sentence is past. I could have watch, but I didn't have money.
The same. I could have had a watch, but I had no money. Or I could have had a watch, but I had no money. You can use the reason.
Second clause, both the second clauses are in
past, right? It's just the wording that you're using. So didn't have money, we're making the verb negative, or had no money, we're making that negative. So that's why we use the positive verb. So did not have money or had no money. but both we use the past tense.
Okay. So could have is a present and could have had past. Okay. And then could have been. It's could have been. We use it in I think passive.
Yes, this is also a conditional sentence as well. We use this as a conditional sentence as well. For example, I could have been a Spanish teacher, but I love teaching English more. I could have been a Spanish teacher, but I love teaching English more.
Then next example, he could have been sent to school, but he didn't go.
Could have been sent to school, but he didn't go. Yep. He could have been sent to school, but he didn't go. That's correct.
Then could have to means it's obligation. I could have to go.
I could have to go. Yeah. This one isn't as common in the English language. We typically would say may. I may have to go. Could have to is not as common as may have to or might have to.
Okay, I may have to go.
I may have to go, or I might
have to go.
Those are much more common in native English, at least in the U.S.
We can replace could with may or might, but not every time.
Exactly. Yep. Only in some situations. That's where it gets confusing sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. In India, when we learn grammar or a grammar teachers, they teach us all those things. So we are not aware that what exactly native speaker speaks. So we thought that this is the way of talking.
Yeah.
So we tried to.
And that's the thing about speaking with natives is you get to hear, oh, well, that actually, we don't say that. We say this instead. So yeah, definitely could have to. We don't use that so much. It sounds very unnatural if we say it in that way. I don't think I've ever used could have to. I always just say I may have to or I might have to.
I may have to. Okay. And one more, could have had to. Past, could have had to.
Have had to. Could have had to.
Could have had to.
Yeah. This one as well, probably we would use he may have had to or might have had to. He could have had to. Could have had to maybe is a little more common in the past like this. He could have had to visit his mother, or he could have had to leave early. But probably would say he might have had to leave early. This is more common. He might have had to leave early instead of he could have had to leave early. That way is more common.
So could have to is not common.
Right.
We should use may or might. And could have had to, we can use it. No need to replace with may or might.
Right, you can still use it. He could have had to leave early.
Okay. And could be sent to school and could have been sent to school. Same meanings. Am I right?
He could be sent to school. Not the same meaning.
He
could have been sent to school. Is past. So we're talking about something that didn't happen. It's a hypothetical. He could have been sent to school, but he wasn't, or but he got sick. So it didn't actually happen. Okay. He could be sent to school means there's still a possibility that he can go to school. He could have been sent to school means there's no possibility.
And he could have, he could be sent to school today, or he could be sent to school yesterday.
He could be.
If I change the sentence today or yesterday, does it suits or?
He could be sent to school today. He could be sent to school. In the past, yesterday. We would still he could have been sent to school yesterday. He could.
Okay. Means separately we should use could be sent to school today, but with past could have been.
Have been. He could be, could have been sent to school yesterday. Right.
because when we are learning grammar, our grammar teachers are Indian, so they are teaching this way, so we have a lot of confusions with
You
that.
could have still used in the past, but in this way, not so specific. So maybe like when I was a girl, I could play the piano. When I was a little girl, I could play the piano. In this way, we're talking about the past, but when we're being more specific, yesterday he could go, maybe he could go to school is why it didn't sound right. It wouldn't be he could be sent to school. So yesterday, he could go to school. We would still use the second verb in present tense. He could go to school. Or yesterday, he couldn't go to school. And that way, it can be used in the
This
past.
is a passive structure.
This is
passive voice.
past. Exactly. This way, it can be used in the past. But I think what didn't sound right.
No, active voice, passive voice. Active voice, passive voice. Like suppose I can do it. It can done by me.
It can be done. It can be done by me.
It can be done by me. So he could be sent to school. He could go to school. He could be sent to school.
Yeah, in this way also, I guess it sounds. Let's see. He could go to school. He could go to school.
We Indians have this habit to go deep into the grammar.
I love grammar. I've never talked about it this way, usually because this has been a mix of modal verbs and also conditionals and some tenses. And now we're getting into active and passive voice. So I'm trying to keep up. So he could be sent to school. He could go to school. Yesterday, he could go to school. Yesterday, he could
be sent. He could be sent. Means someone is sending him forcefully. He could be sent.
Yesterday, he could be sent to school. In this case, yes. But I will say, speaking in this way isn't as natural. So probably you wouldn't hear this as much, us saying it in this way. I would say, oh, yesterday.
Because in our school syllabus, there is a special topic, change active to passive.
Okay. I see. So like she picked up the pencil was picked up by her. Like that. Yeah. Yes. I have done active and passive voice, but in this way with modal verbs, it gets a little trickier. So she could pick up the pencil.
It's advanced level. It's quite
the pencil
level.
could be picked up by her. So she could pick up the pencil could be picked up by her. That would be active and passive. Okay. Yeah. She could understand active and passive voice. Active and passive voice could be understood by her. Okay. Yeah. Whew. Lots of grammar.
I can clean the house. House can be cleaned by me. It's third form of the
exactly.
verb.
And you can also do that. Yeah, you can also do that with could. Yesterday, I could clean the house. Yesterday, the house could be cleaned by me, which that way, it doesn't sound as natural. The house could be cleaned by me.
You don't use it.
No, not so much like that. I wouldn't say the house could be cleaned. I think that's why in the other example you gave, it doesn't sound, it's technically correct, but we don't ever speak in that way. We would just say, I could clean the house yesterday, not the house could be cleaned by me or by someone. Just the house was cleaned. It's the more common way.
It's in our exam system.
Okay.
That we means each topic we have a certain mark.
Okay. I know grammar is really focused on in the education system as far as learning English in many schools. It was the same when I was teaching English in Ecuador. A lot of it was just focused on the textbook and heavily focused on grammar with some vocabulary. And
that's why we were unable to speak English. They focus only on grammar and textbook, but they didn't give us scope to speak.
It's the same down there. And that was part of my job, was trying to help teachers implement, speaking activities in their classes so that students, even though they felt nervous, were at least getting some practice, getting to implement what they learned in a conversation or in some, phrases and things. But yeah, I think that's a big problem. It's lacking in teaching English sometimes. It's very heavily focused on the grammar, but there's no opportunity to practice that grammar and speaking. So maybe you know the rule, but you don't know how to use it in a conversation.
And most of the time, teachers teach rules and then they'll teach some exceptions as well. So it's again a big mess.
I've learned that I'm the opposite as far as learning. I just need to start speaking and make the mistakes as I go and then learn, what's right and what's wrong. If I only focus on the grammar rule itself, when I go to speak, I'm not going to remember while I'm speaking, oh, what's the exception to this? So I'm kind of the opposite. I need to just start speaking and figure it out as I go. For next class,
I'm like that only. I don't think what I'm speaking. That's why I make mistakes.
Mistakes are totally normal when we learn a language. Even if you've been learning a language for 10 or 15 years, you're still going to make mistakes. It's normal. I tell myself that all the time. It's okay. I've been learning Spanish, I think, for 7 years now. I still make a lot of mistakes.
Okay. Next time we should see should and would.
I have something saved for would, so I'll make sure that I have something for should as well. So I think our class is not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow.
So we can do should and would, and maybe some of will as well when we talk about would. And if you have any questions about could, I know we didn't really go through examples together to practice. Just send me a message. I have a link that I'll send you as well that has some can and could practice that I had opened. We didn't have time for it, but I'll send that to you in a message, okay? All right. See you in 2 days. I hope you get to feeling better. Get some rest. Bye.
Yes. Okay. Bye. Bye.